Hey everyone, welcome back. It is a new week and it is time for some wrestling reviews. I apologize for last week. What happened was there were many factors contributing to it. Campo and I work completely opposite schedules. I work mornings, he works overnights. So for us to get together during the week, it's super difficult. I had a monitor issue, as you guys if you follow me on the Discord and if you follow me on Instagram, you would have seen what happened to my monitor. Couple that with internet problems. Unfortunately, we didn't get any reviews out for you last week, but we will get them for you this week, as many as we can. So with me, like I said, once again, we have Campo.Reviews, the man who reviews movies, TV shows, everything in between, you name it. He's got a Knuckles review coming out, which I happen to be in, so make sure you go and check that out. But before we get into the review, make sure you like, comment, share, subscribe. You guys really seem to like the ranking the current WWE Championship belts. So if you want to see more tier list videos, make a note of that in the comment below. Give us a subscribe, ring that bell so you know when videos like that drop. So today we are talking about WWE Backlash.
Was
It was
lashing of the backs.
the lashing of the backs, yep, with whips. But I mean, short little show. It wasn't too bad. It was in France. The first time a pay-per-view has taken place in France.
Yeah,
And the reason it took place in Lyon instead of Paris was because they couldn't get the rights to do it in Paris.
and I don't think you needed to.
No, this was perfect. The crowd, let's start off with the crowd. The crowd was like super hot throughout.
It's probably the best crowd ever in the history of wrestling.
Yeah, I
I'm
would
just
agree.
gonna say that.
Let's say that. So let's start with our first match of the night. It was the Bloodline, Solo Sikoa and Tama Tonga. I guess you want to call it the new Bloodline against Kevin
The new
Owens,
brood,
the new Brood, the new Blood.
the new blood brood.
Yeah, Kevin Owens and Randy Orton, Team RKO or whatever they're called now.
You know what I like though, like,
Mm,
and in the beginning, I didn't feel this way about this specific situation, but nowadays it's getting really bad. Like Veda Scott and
was not
friends.
on the show.
Yes, not on the show, but Veda Scott and friends, and currently AEW.
Mm-hmm.
Shut up when there's entrances. I don't care if they
Mm-hmm.
fought each other before. I want to hear the song and I want to hear the crowd, and
Yep.
that's what I want to hear. And shout out to WWE for finally figuring it out and not having just
Yep.
talk through the whole fucking entrance.
Through Orton's entrance. Like Owens, like they said a little bit at the beginning of Owens'
They
entrance,
do,
but
but
then
then
they
they,
let it play.
like it's like when Seth Rollins is doing his thing, like they don't talk over that.
No.
And that gets you pumped for the match. I don't
Hmm.
care how many times fucking Julia won the Stardom belt in 1994. Like, tell me
Was
that
she
during
even
the
born?
match. I know, but just tell me that during the match. Don't tell me that on the
Yeah.
entrance.
Like what they did in this match. We'll get into that when we talk about it, which I was
Um,
surprised we got.
I loved it, but
Hmm.
just the Randy Orton, please. I know I talked about this in our group chat. You change your song. It's so bad. It's in nowadays comparables, there isn't one. It's a song that lives in 2002
That's
Ruthless
yeah.
Aggression slash
Godsmack,
TNA era.
whatever.
It's
Yeah.
too slow, and it's to me, it's not a hype song. It's like my lost energy when he came out.
Yeah. But I mean, but the match was okay. The match was good. It was
The
it was
match was
a
solid, actually.
yeah,
I
it was the
actually
second
really
longest.
liked this
It
match.
was the second longest match on the card, which it needed to be. Um, we got a whole bunch of New Japan references
We heard
this week.
about New Japan. We heard about the
The
Bullet
Bullet
Club.
Club, how Tama Tonga is a seven-time tag team champion in New Japan. Like they gave a lot of history on Tonga. It's like, oh, he just came out of nowhere. No, he didn't come out of nowhere. This man has had a storied career. Let's hear about his storied career. They're not hiding away from the fact that before, if you're not in WWE, you didn't exist.
And I know there was this whole thing with, like, obviously New Japan wanted to give him his shine because he's like one of the more popular wrestlers of
Yeah.
the recent times. But I feel like there might have been conversations knowing he was going to WWE where WWE was like, let him win the open weight championship a couple more times. So
Pad
that
his
it's like when
stats a
we,
little
yeah,
bit.
so that when we can talk about him and be like, oh, he's won this, and this. Because it
Yeah.
was really awkward that he kept winning the title and then the next match losing the title. And then the next match winning the title and then
And
the
then
next
losing
match
it.
losing the title.
Yeah, it was kind of strange. We thought it was a little weird. We knew he was coming,
Yeah.
right? And it was kind of obvious. And the match for what it was great. There was
really solid match.
Yeah, great. Like, I mean, even after his injuries, Randy Orton, this is some of the best I've seen Randy Orton in a long time.
It's fair. I mean, I'm still not an Orton fan.
No, obviously,
Um,
but
I do think he can put on a solid match, especially if you put him with other good wrestlers, he
mhm,
will perform very
yeah,
well. To me, I still don't ever believe that he's a person who carries a match.
yeah,
Um,
or a company.
he also doesn't have like that raw athleticism.
Yeah,
Like, like he doesn't have that Kenny Omega or that Rey Mysterio. He has like the basic of wrestling and he's good at that.
and
And,
he's
and
got the
that's enough.
strength. Yeah, and you
Um,
could see the difference in styles when Owens was facing Tama Tonga because Owens, former Ring of Honor champion, and all that. Like,
they kind of already knew how to work with each other.
yeah,
And coming from Japan, and this is something we said about, you could see the difference where it's like when Jade came over,
hmm,
you see just the similar WWE technique of like basic wrestling.
like a paint
When
by numbers kind of thing.
where Trinity, where we're going to talk about it in a second, but she kind of after TNA has gained this like physicality that I
Hmm.
don't think she had before.
No.
And but you watch those Japanese people or Japanese people, the Japanese wrestlers
Hmm.
from Japan, not just actually Japanese. And they have this ability to hit hard. So when you put them with someone who came from the raw indie scene like Kevin Owens that can hit hard, or Sami Zayn,
Yeah.
they can have a really good match with someone from New Japan because they will physically beat each other.
And that's one thing I noticed. Shots to the head are back. Like trash can shots, lid shots, like
And I think they're doing it pretty safely,
yeah,
where
like
it's
because
like
I
you
don't
can
know
see
how
it
I
in
feel
some other
about that
places,
yet, but yeah.
like the freaking the Frankie Kazarian match where he put
Yes,
Eric Thing's head through the table, what Eric Young.
Eric
Um,
Young.
but yeah, it's
That's tomorrow, so tune in tomorrow for that one.
well, not that one, but
But yeah,
that one.
Under Siege is tomorrow. But
Um,
yes.
the I thought the match work was really good. I thought there
Hmm.
was a great storytelling. I think Tongaloa coming out, which he
Yeah.
does, even though
Now
he
let's
missed his
just say,
spot.
are we the only ones that we were expecting this? Everywhere on the internet community is saying they were not expecting Tongaloa.
Of course I was. And
We
it,
called
it was
Tongaloa a long time ago.
it became frustrating because we were just like playing this waiting game of like, when are you gonna do
Hmm.
it?
Yeah.
Like, and apparently they don't want to introduce Jacob Fatu because they think he will overshadow everyone in the group if
He'll
they bring him
overshadow
in.
Solo, yeah, for sure. But we called Tongaloa back when when they did their last tag match together.
We called Tongaloa and Tamatonga since like summer last year.
Yeah,
So we were just waiting for when it was gonna happen.
we were waiting for it to happen. So like everybody, like if you go to the other sites, like if you go to like
And by the way, I
shout
still
out to
just
Wrestle Talk, but
I want to just keep blowing smoke up my own ass. I called Solo taking over the leader thing
yes,
from
a year ago.
literally 2 years ago, from before last WrestleMania.
You called it no, you called it a Clash at the Castle. I remember that when he first
Yeah,
got involved.
you could tell because it was just like this obvious thing where he's so powerful that eventually his physicality would be like, I'm gonna beat up everyone in this group.
The only thing is talent level, like he's still not there yet.
He's super raw.
Yeah,
But yeah, it is what it is. Good match.
it was. And good finish. Next, we got a three-way match for the WWE Women's Championship. Bayley defending against Naomi and Tiffany Stratton.
Can you give me the minutes for this?
This was 13 minutes and 10 seconds.
The first I said that because I'm
Thank you,
trying to
Timmy.
like think in my head. The first 5.5 minutes of this are actually bad. Like I was like,
Yeah,
oh
it
no.
started off really bad.
And I was getting really worried. Trinity felt out of place the whole time. And I was like,
I was
what are
expecting more from Tiff.
Bailey looked like she kind of got hurt. Tiffany's
Hmm.
speed was too intense for the other two to like match. And
Hmm.
but then as it settled into the second half, I didn't want it to end. I was like, oh, when it ended, I was like, oh fuck, I wanted like 5 more minutes of
5 more
this.
minutes. Yeah, it turned out to be an excellent match. Tiffy at the end with the prettiest moonsaults ever, and like
5 more minutes.
minutes. Yeah, that near fall with her on Trinity. Like I really thought, like at that point, I was like, oh my god, are they really gonna do it here?
You can tell, and every outlet ran with this. You could tell right away that Tiffy's gonna win a title.
Yeah,
It's
they're
not yet. Bailey's gonna go on a run for a bit. I do think we need to kind of put the kibosh on this idea that the main titles at least have to travel from Mania to Mania to be passed. I do
Yeah.
want to get past that situation, but I do think Bailey should hold it for longer.
Yeah. I don't mind the random pay-per-view belt changes. You know what I mean?
Yeah, even on show, just don't do whatever we're gonna talk about with the next two companies, the next two reviews we're doing, where it's like
Hmm.
every single show there's a belt gets changed hands.
Yeah. I'm not
Um,
going to the right people, but
it's this match.
it turned out to be,
I would have rated this match a lot higher if it stayed where it was for the
yeah.
in the second half.
It started off slow, but Bailey does retain. Tiff does the moonsault on, I think it was she did the moonsault on Naomi. We got the near fall, but Bailey breaks it up
Yeah,
and she ends up pinning Naomi.
yeah,
So
so solid. I liked it.
good match, good match. With that, we're going into the third match: Damian Priest versus Jey Uso for the World Heavyweight Championship. Jey Uso better match than he had with his brother at Mania.
Best Jey Uso match I've ever seen
Hmm.
with has him as a singles wrestler.
Best Damian Priest match I've ever
I
seen.
agree. I agree. This is both of their best matches as a
Another
single
solid match.
that I've
15,
seen.
almost 16 minutes too. This
And
match.
a lot of people were ragging on this match.
No, this
This
match
match
was
was
good.
really good.
Yeah.
Like you could see Damien Priest's potential. Jey Uso, I don't see potential in him because I think he's at his peak. I don't think he gets better than he is right now.
He's top mid card, I think,
Yeah.
Jey Uso, if
He
you want to
needs
push him as a
yeah.
singles. But clearly that's not where they're going with him.
He's a US title, he's a IC title guy for
Hmm.
me. I would let him win NXT's belt. I would let him win the North American. I would let him win the Speed Championship. I would like pad his career with
Yeah.
those belts and never let. Maybe you let him have one win before he retires or something.
I think
If
he's
you feel necessary.
nine-time tag champ. Let him have his 10th.
Yeah, and I do think he as a tag team, they're one of the greatest.
Yeah.
We will never deny that. But I just don't see them working singles. And Jimmy definitely does not work as a singles wrestler.
No, no. The
Uh,
potential is definitely higher on Jey Uso. I just regret the fact that we had the opportunity to have the Usos versus FTR and they turned it into a comedy skit.
Yeah, I mean, but this is the way she goes in WWE, at least in the past. This is the
Yeah.
first pay-per-view where I feel like everything has fully shifted into a different type of
You
wrestler.
could tell this is a different era now
Yeah.
with the booking, with the match styles, with the matchups, even. They're giving people opportunities that you wouldn't have expected before.
Yeah, it's funny because I was watching like a chat, some kind of YouTube like talk thing, and they were talking about Michelle McCool and like how she had heat backstage because she tried to teach Natalia like a way to wrestle because she's like, oh, in WWE wrestle different than other companies. We're not
Yeah.
just doing a bunch of random moves. We're telling a story in the ring.
Meanwhile, Natalia's been in Japan and
I know.
like,
And me in my head thinking like until this year, I can't even think of a match where like WWE told a really good story in the ring. The stories are all
yeah,
just what happens after the match is over.
yeah,
Like the in rings are like 4 minutes of random nonsense.
yeah. And it's what happens before and after the match that tells the story.
Yeah, what's their announcers that tell you the story.
Right.
The ring team. But
The ring
anyways,
team.
hey, I liked this match.
Good match. Another good match. Damian Priest is really starting to impress me. I can see why they put the like, I mean, I was okay. Like Damian Priest, when he was in Ring of Honor, he was a mid-carder at best, right? TV champion, stuff like that. But you could see there was a potential. The only thing with Damian Priest, I think what he's 40, 41, Damian Priest.
I
He's
think he's like
pretty,
39.
yeah, like so now was the time to have that run with him before.
It's but I don't see him as a world champion. I'm like watching this match. I see what's good about him and
Mhm.
where he can go over like for the ending of his prime era here. But he should never have been a world title like wrestler. That's
So
not
you don't
his.
think this belt belongs on him?
No, I don't. And I think it's gonna move quicker than we think.
Okay, because we got a little dissension in the ranks after the match.
I still see a moment in my head where Finn Balor takes the belt back one more time.
Oh yeah, I see Finn Balor with. I think this breakup's going to happen at SummerSlam.
Yeah, that's possible. They have so many injuries anyways, right? They
Yeah,
don't have Rhea or Dominic for a really long
for
time.
a long time for both of them, and Jamie and JD McDonough nobody cares about.
JD McDonough has lost all his heat.
Yeah,
Nobody cares about him anymore.
yeah. So we may get a Damian Priest babyface turn and have the heel beat him and do a babyface chase.
All I want is Dragunov versus Gunther in the finals of the King of the Ring
which we might get. No, that won't be the final. That'll be the semis.
semifinals. Yeah, sorry.
Yeah, that'll be the semifinals because it'll be a Raw versus a SmackDown.
Gunter's gonna win this.
Oh yeah,
And
and
I think
that'll
that
that'll
that was the
lead
whole
to
point of bringing back the King of the Ring was just to let Gunther win
just to let
this.
Gunther win. Yeah. But we'll talk about that at the end of the show. So with
Yeah.
that, so we get a little dissension in the ranks. Damian Priest is trying to show a little respect to Jey Uso, saying good match, blah blah blah, trying to give him his props, and Finn Balor's not too happy with that.
Yeah, they want to turn him face.
So we'll see. So with that, we are going to go into our next match. Our next match is Bianca Belair and Jade Cargill fighting for the WWE Women's Tag Team Champions against defending champions, the Kabuki Warriors. We knew the outcome of this match even before the match
Yeah,
started.
and it's a shame because this is a situation of passing the belt too quickly. I would have left Kabuki Warriors as champions for a really long time because they're your only real tag team. I
Mhm.
understand you're making one out of Jade Cargill and Bianca Belair, but this is mostly number one to give Bianca a belt because they want Bianca. They win, by the
Yeah.
way. They want Bianca to have a belt.
And
And
they
number
want Jade to
two,
have a
they
belt.
want Jade's popularity to keep rising without exposing her as a solo wrestler because she in this match was not very good. I
No.
watched Wrestling with Regret talk about it, Brian Zane,
Hmm.
and I agreed with him all the way until he's like, at the end, all of a sudden, she was so good. Nah, man, she sucked for this whole match.
Yeah.
And it's
But give her this, working with Bianca Belair, because their styles are very similar, it can only help her.
it will, but like we've said, and by the way, we were Bianca Belair was our wrestler of the year,
Hmm.
and Bianca Belair had last year just tapered off and kept getting worse and worse and worse. I do think she's back. Her stock is going back up, but I
Hmm.
don't think as a wrestler she's gotten any better. Like she's still at that same exact spot.
Yeah.
There's no progression. Like her moves are the same. The hair has to go. It's getting
Yeah.
so frustrating. And as a wrestling fan
Gimmick.
now, like
Yeah.
watching, it's that people are gonna get hurt. Like you see them do like moves off the top rope and her hair's underneath and they're landing on it, right? Like
Yeah.
it's you could tell it's like a solid piece of fucking whatever it is.
Yeah,
It's not her
it
real
isn't
hair.
it's not her real hair. No. It's if you watch was it Love and WWE? I don't, but
Yeah. But if
you
you land
see
you
her clips and she has
yeah.
shorter hair, I should say.
You land awkwardly on that on like the braided part if it's like folded up in a ball and it's gonna hit
I
you
think it's
like
braided into her actual hair.
yeah. But it's like the end piece has like a knob on it.
Yeah, and it hurts.
Like and people are landing and I just think it to me it seems stupid. It's like having a rope all the time lying on the floor
Yeah.
of the ring.
It's a weapon.
And anyways, that's the stupidest conversation we've ever had.
Yes.
I do think this match was fine. It's just in comparison to the rest of this pay-per-view, this stands out as being like a poor quality match.
Yeah.
But in the
Even though the
realm
crowd
of
was super behind it.
in, in the world of women's tag matches, it was still a pretty good match.
Yeah.
Not compared to Stardom.
No.
In the
But
world minus Japan.
yeah. North America.
Yeah. No, I'll
Okay.
include Europe. I'll let them have
Okay.
Europe.
Let them
And
have
Africa
Europe.
and South
Okay.
America.
Okay then.
But
Yes, we do get new champions.
we get new champions, and I don't like the move. I think these
Yeah.
belts are
But
irrelevant.
there was a reason why, and we'll talk about this probably at the end of the show, is Asuka's hurt.
Yeah.
They got eight top people out right now.
And this is the kind of thing where as a general wrestling fan, the nonsensical shit that you hear, like, oh, look at the Japanese wrestlers, they're all injured right now. Oh, look, everyone in AEW is getting injured because they're unsafe. Like,
Chucky
no, now
T's
look,
career may be over.
every single person in WWE is injured right now. And
Big
they do
names
much
too.
safer wrestling.
You got you got Ripley out, you got Dominic Mysterio out, you got Drew McIntyre out, you have Bobby Lashley out,
Seth Rollins.
Seth Rollins. Like those are five big names right there.
They're saying that they think the Bobby Lashley injury though is a work so that they have someone to face Cody Rhodes at some point. So they don't have to have him lose in the King of the Ring and look bad. They have an
Because
injury to make
there's
him
three guys in King of the Ring that like Drew McIntyre is replacing was replaced by Jey Uso. Kofi Kingston replaced Xavier Woods because he's hurt too.
he's always hurt.
Dawkins has replaced Bobby Lashley. Even on the women's side, Dakota Kai has replaced Asuka.
You know what though? They should have freebird ruled this belt
Hmm.
and
Yeah.
just let Dakota take over as the
Hmm.
other person, or had
Hmm.
freaking Io Sky take over as the other person.
Yeah.
Like,
They got
I
four
don't,
members,
I
but
don't know, man. Just keep that damage control group together.
yeah, at
I don't
least
need
for a while.
another dumb
Breakup story.
storyline. Like it, that's
You
just
told a good
WWE
story
shit.
with Bailey leaving the group
Yeah.
and
And you told
leave
a
it at
good
that.
one with the bloodline.
Hmm.
Now you're telling it with Judgment Day. Let's
Yeah.
calm down.
That's yeah. It's cool your jets, kids. But like we said, new champs. So with that, we'll go into our main event. Cody Rhodes defending the WWE. I think they renamed it now. It's just the WWE Undisputed Championship against AJ Styles.
Maybe you can be upset at me if you want. Maybe the best Cody Rhodes match that wasn't the Hell in a Cell match since he's been in WWE.
I would agree with that. You had two, pun intended, phenomenal athletes in this
Yeah.
match,
Two
and
phenomenal ones.
like no way was it near their match they had at New Japan or Ring of Honor.
No,
But
but I
this
think
was fantastic.
it's the most chemistry I've seen AJ Styles have with someone in a while,
Mhm.
which is weird because his Nakamura matches were missing something and his Finn Balor matches were missing
Even
something.
though they've all faced each other before.
Yeah, but like this one, you could see they still had it. And like,
Yeah.
mind you, I like Cody Rhodes. Okay, I know a lot of
Hmm.
people don't, and if you're a WWE fan, you all do. But he has a very basic skill set, similar
Hmm.
to like a Randy Orton, where it's like, yes, he's a star person, like the
He's a larger
character,
than life character, the
yeah,
character of Cody
yes,
Rhodes.
and it's like that's what WWE
Like
creates. Your
Randy
John
Orton,
Cena's and
John
stuff.
Cena, that
Yeah,
type of.
Batista, those kind of guys. But in the end of the day, none of those guys are like, in my opinion, peak wrestlers. AJ
Yes.
Styles is one of the greatest wrestlers of all time, hands down, no questions
Yep.
asked. Finn Balor is,
Yep.
you know, Gunther is right now.
Yes.
I not specifically these guys.
Shout out to Danhausen, who's the new GCW champion.
Yeah, good for him. I like that. Danhausen is a really good wrestler who gets
Yes.
overshadowed by his dumb gimmick.
Is he even still under contract?
I believe so, yes.
But they got nothing
Anyways,
for him. So, but anyway.
he should have been in Super Juniors.
Yes.
Uh, Digressing from the point, he should join House of Torture.
Yes, that would very evil.
That'd be very evil, exactly.
You
Him
have
and
evil and
Evil.
very evil.
Oh my god, that could
Why
be
are they
their
not?
tag team.
Why are they not calling us to book these things? You know,
And Evil would not like it. He would begrudgingly be forced to be with Danhausen, who
because he'd
would,
be not so
yeah.
evil.
And he'd be wearing his shirt that says Evil, and then Danhausen would take off his shirt and it would say Very Evil, and he'd be mad at him for doing it. Listen, pay me money, but especially New Japan, you should be paying me money because you
Yes.
suck. Um,
Yeah. We'll talk
sorry,
about tune
we'll
in
talk
later
about it.
this week for Dontaku.
We're literally qualified enough to work for Impact at this point.
Yes.
But yeah, I thought the match was pretty solid. It told actually a good story. It
Yeah.
went on
In
long
ring,
enough. It had
30 minutes almost.
it really had this like big New Japan main event feel to it, where it was like a
But in
story.
all fairness, let's give credit to the crowd too, because if the crowd weren't as hot as they were, there could have been some spots in this match that could have lulled.
I think every single match is what it is, but I think the crowd only made the
Elevated
environment
it.
even better.
Yeah.
Because I don't think any of these matches would be worse to me. I just think that with the crowd, it actually kicks it up a notch or two.
Yeah.
And I don't know. I don't have anything else on this. I just
No, I'm good with that too. What would you score this event?
8.5.
Wow. That high.
I think
Mind you,
you
I'm
had
pretty high
four
on it too, but yeah.
you had four really good matches. One saw okay match. It wasn't bad, the tag match. And it's five matches tight in this environment. If I'm recommending you to buy a pay-per-view, this is the most
Yeah.
worthwhile WWE pay-per-view that's come out for a long time to pay for.
Yeah, I wouldn't give it as high as my best rated pay-per-view of the year, which was Revolution. Actually, I scored this one higher than Revolution. My highest was night 2 of WrestleMania, which is 8.4, and I'm going to the same one with this one is 8.4.
What was my highest? 8.5?
8.5. You gave 8.5 to Dynasty.
All right, give me 8.4 on this. This was
Okay.
Dynasty was a monster.
Yeah. So we'll both go 8-4 on this. This is probably like WrestleMania. We all know it's going to be a big spectacle, but this was the best WWE pay-per-view that's not a big four or big five I've seen in a long time.
It's
Granted, Backlash has always been good.
I would say for me, I don't know for sure score wise, but this is probably the best WWE pay per view since Clash at the Castle.
Yeah, Clash at the Castle is really, really good. Hopefully they can keep up with that this year because they got another one coming up. Was it in June?
Yeah. Anyway, I've been telling everyone nonstop to watch this. This is totally worth your time.
Yeah.
If this was costing you money, I would pay $50 for this.
Yeah, I would definitely. This was one of the best, like I said, none like the best WWE pay-per-view, like I said, that's not a WrestleMania or any of those big shows that I've seen probably since like late 90s, early 2000s.
Yeah. So yeah, that's completely fair.
Yeah, and it wasn't, even though this was called Backlash, the last few Backlashes have been good because it's been a WrestleMania greatest hits in a way.
Every backlash since I started watching wrestling again has been worth watching.
Yeah. So, all right. If you guys watch Backlash, let us know down in the comments below what you thought, what your favorite match was, and tune in tomorrow where Campo and I will have our review of TNA's Under Siege. Let's just say this show is not an 8.4. So tune in tomorrow to hear our score and our review of that. And with that out of the way, guys, thanks again for joining us. And in the words of Kenny Omega, goodbye and good night.